Everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It is Mike's Talks and Thoughts here, back again with another video here. I had some time to film. Coming up here, we have school, so I'm going to be not having a lot of time to film, so I thought this would be a great time. I'm definitely going to be keeping up and making videos for you guys, though. Any spare time that I have will definitely be dedicated to bringing you guys some great content. So today I have a regular show characters tier list. Now, for me, regular show was a show that I always watched growing up in my childhood, but I really got into it like last year, so in 2020. Just um, my friend Matt, who I've mentioned plenty of times on the channel, he's a big fan of the show, and so is Nick as well. And they both really got me into it, and I watched through it, and I just absolutely love this show. Just one of my favorites. So I thought today I would do a characters tier list for you guys. So starting off here, we have a bunch of baby ducks. The baby ducks that help Mordecai and Rigby out in situations and in fights. I think they're A tier. I think they are great characters. They are very helpful to the story, and just such badasses. So yeah. Next here we have Thomas. This is Death's child, and for me, this kid is such a brat and so arrogant. I'm gonna put him in the C tier. Definitely could be lower, but just kind of annoying kid, and is always trying to cause trouble for Mordecai and Rigby. So yeah, C tier. Next here we have probably my favorite character on the show, Benson. I think Benson's hilarious. I think Benson is S tier. I know that's a very unpopular opinion. I know people would say either, Mordecai, Skips, Muscle Man. Those are usually the three I hear as like the top characters. Either people who like Mordecai because he's the main character. Skips, I've heard, because he's the real grounded one and just a great character. And Muscle Man too, he's hilarious. But for me, I think Benson's my favorite character. I love his rage moments. If you go online and just look up Benson rage compilations, they're just so fucking hilarious. Benson is just so great. I just love him, and he's so relatable. We've all had someone who just gets on your nerves, and just you want to just yell at him like Benson does. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go S tier. Benson is great. Next year we have the Capicola gang. They make their appearance in Fuzzy Dice, of course, when the gang tries to um, win Fuzzy Dice for Pops for his birthday. And then this group steals it, and then you find out that these people were hiding like a diamond inside of them, and they're criminals. And then they make another appearance. The main guy in Stake Me Adamus, the season 4 finale. And this group is just great. I think they were a very interesting trio that they added into the storyline. I thought when going into the Fuzzy Dice episode was just going to be they're just going to have to do all these crazy games to win tickets for Pops to get the Fuzzy Dice, but that twist at the end with them stealing the dice and them going on that car chase was great. And then, of course, the one guy making an appearance again. I think they're great. Next year we have CJ, and for me, I'm gonna put CJ in B tier. I think she was all right. For Mordecai, of course, they start dating um, towards the tail end of season 5 and moving forward. I thought she was a decent love interest for Mordecai. Of course, she wasn't bad at all. I just think she's kind of neutral for me. Didn't like her a lot. Didn't hate her. So yeah, B tier. Next year we have the Death Kwon Do Sensei guy, and I think he's also B tier. I love the episode Death Punchies, of course, from the first season, um, and the Death Sandwich is a great episode where Mordecai and Rigby are about to eat the Death Sandwich, and then Benson accidentally eats it without dress being dressed properly and gets sick, and they have to go through all these struggles to get him fixed. And yeah, I just think he's a great character. So kind of on the tier with CJ, so B tier. Death. Death makes a lot of appearances in the show. for me, my most memorable ones with him. I love Skip Strike's episode with his bowling team. Of course, when he challenges Muscle Man to a hot dog eating contest, that was a great one too. And of course, all his antics when he's away and they have Mordecai and Rigby watch Thomas. I'm gonna put him in the B tier. I think he's a solid side character. Next here we have Don. I'm gonna put Don in B tier as well. Again, you really see him in the first season with the audit, and of course you find out more about his relationship with him and Rigby. I think they have a good bond. And yeah, it was cool to see Rigby have a brother in the series. So yeah, B tier. Next here we have Earl. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you guys. I don't really remember much about season 8 of regular show, so I'm not really sure too much about this character. I know that he helps Pops train, of course, for the fight against Anti-Pops. I'll put him in the B tier though. I think he's a solid character. I just don't remember much about him. Next here we have Eileen, and Eileen I think is going to be C tier. I know that's kind of shocking because she becomes a regular towards the end of the series. I definitely do like her a lot more at the later end of the series. I think in the earlier seasons she is really annoying and kind of childish, just kind of acts like a young kid. But yeah, I like how she pushes Rigby, and I'm fine with her relationship with Rigby in the later seasons. Next here we have Anti-Pops, and I'm going to put Anti-Pops in A tier. I think he was a great villain for Pops. I think that was a really great fleshed out storyline. And I just think he was a great final villain for Pops. Next here we have Clogbang. This is who Skips has to fight. I can't remember how many years. I believe it's like 150, 160 years. They have an epic fight, and of course, Skips has to defeat him. I think he's C tier. Of course, we see him and Skips in their first encounter in Skip's story. But I think he's just a C tier character. Next, we have Margaret's dad, of course. Many big episodes with him. Again, C tier character, very indifferent for me. And then next year we have two of the Gary Bobby Fergusons. I'm just going to put one on here, and then Gary Bobby Ferguson Jr. I think these guys are both A tier. I mean, these two, of course, with the arcade game at the coffee shop, that was great to see. And then when he explodes, and then of course his son trying to get revenge, in Exit 9B, which is probably my favorite episode of the entire series. That's why I like both of these characters a lot. They are both the central focus of Exit 9B. So yeah, A tier for me. Next year we have Gary, a friend of Skip's, and I think he's a B tier character. Of course, Gary's synthesizer, that was a great episode, and he's always just helping out Skip's. Pretty solid character. Next year we have the Geese, and I'm going to put the Geese in C tier. Of course, they are invading the park, and Mordecai and Rigby have to try and get them away, but they just can't, so they have to call the help of the baby ducks, and the fight they have, the Geese and the ducks, is just a great fight. So yeah, I'm put them in C tier. Not very great characters, just very memorable for that fight. Next here we have Gene, the opposing park manager against, of course, Benson. And I think he's C tier, of course. Love the scenes with the prank war, them versus the park, with Muscle Man and, of course, Thomas having to sneak in. I think he's C tier. Of course, this dude is really arrogant and just tries to destroy the park at all costs. So yeah, C tier for me. Next, we have the God of Basketball, and this guy was awesome. I'm going to put him in A tier. I love the basketball episode. Of course, him teaching Mordecai and Rigby how to beat Muscle Man, of course, for the computer rights. And, of course, he makes an appearance in episode Exit 9B. So, yeah, we have that. And I think he's just an overall great character. Next here we have High Five Ghost, and for me, I'm gonna put High Five Ghost in the B tier. Probably the weakest of the main 7, just because you don't really know too much about High Five Ghost. Of course, you learn about his relationship with Cecilia, how they met, and their promise of meeting up years down the road. And of course, we'll get to Low Five Ghost here. Um, I think he's also going to be in the B tier. I loved him. I love how he's like a kind of like a cop, and I love him at High Five Ghost and Muscle Man's Party. That was a great one where he turns Mordecai and Rigby into Ghost, and yeah. So I think they're both on the same level, B tier. Next year we have Margaret, and this is going to be controversial because I don't know how high people are on Margaret, but I think Margaret's A tier. I liked her a lot better than CJ. I thought she was always better with Mordecai. I know some people would disagree with that, but I always thought that Margaret was solid. I think her moments with Mordecai, Eileen, and Rigby are always great. Episodes surrounded by them are always great, of course. Do Me a Solid, Death Bear, when they're all just hanging out, and just great episodes, I think. Now, for me, this is actually going to be another controversial take. I'm going to put Mordecai in the B tier. So, yes, I have Margaret ahead of Mordecai. I just think Mordecai can be really annoying at points, and of course, a big simp. Just kind of gets on my nerves sometimes, so I'm going to put him in the B tier. But overall, he's a solid lead. I mean, I don't hate him as much as other leads in other shows, so I think I'm going to put him in the B tier. Next here we have Mr. Maillard, and I think he's a C tier character. Of course, I love his love for Pops, but he's always getting on everyone's ass. Of course, Benson, and then he's Roy Rich and Mordecai and Rigby. They get his limo. They have to clean his limo, and they wreck it, and they win him this whole new limo, and then he ends up ruining his own limo, and then you find out that he just has a whole bunch of other limos and can buy another limo. So they went through all that for nothing, pretty much. So, yeah, C tier. Next, here we have Muscle Man, probably my second favorite character in the series. I think he is a S tier character. Muscle Man is just so great. I love his lines, of course. My mom, such a great line, and Muscle Man just has some great jokes. Him and High Five Ghost work well off of each other, and he has really good interactions with everyone in the park, I feel like. And so yeah, he's going to be an S tier. If you take out like Benson's raging, which I just find hilarious, Muscle Man is probably the funniest character, I think, in my opinion. Next year we have Party Horse. Again, someone from the later seasons. I'm put him in C tier, of course. Mordecai and Rigby and the others help him with his struggles. I think that's always good to see. But for me, never someone who is too memorable. Someone who I remembered a lot more was Party Pete. Party Pete, of course. I'm gonna put him in B tier. Mordecai and Rigby are throwing a party, and they are having trouble getting the word out and getting people there. So they call up Party Pete, and he kind of goes crazy. And then you find out later that Party Pete is actually trapped and cloned, and sold pretty much, which was interesting. So yeah, you learn more about him, but solid character, B tier. Next here we have the chosen one of Pops. I like Pops a lot. I think he's S tier. Pops is just so great. I think he's hilarious. He has some great one-liners. I love when Mordecai and Rigby are fighting, and Pop says, and when they're calling each other turds, and then Pop says, "We can all be turds." And then, of course, the rap battle episode with Pops is great. And, of course, he's the main focus of Season 8 with his battle versus Anti-Pops. That battle is so epic and so great. Pops, what a legend. So S tier for me. First F tier character here, Quips. I can't stand this dude. I think he's really, really annoying. His jokes are horrible. Of course, that is shown throughout the series, but just a very, very annoying character for me. So F tier. RGB2. For for me, B tier. Again, solid. The only episode I really remember him in was, of course, the episode where you meet him. He's stuck in a TV show, and he's kind of being sold and promoted. And he wants to just live a normal life. And Mordecai and Rigby try and help him out with that. So, yeah, B tier. Next year, we have our secondary lead of the show, Rigby. And, of course, I'm going to put him on the same tier as Mordecai. Rigby is someone who I've always felt, and this is something that Matt agrees with too. Rigby, you either love him in an episode or you hate him. He can either be like the best person in an episode or he can be the worst person in an episode. Some episodes Rigby is really great and shines really well. In other episodes he's just really annoying and selfish. So I'm going to put him in the B tier to kind of level it out. Sometimes he's S tier, sometimes he's D or F tier, so right in the middle. Next, we have Skips, of course, voiced by the legendary Mark Hamill. S tier. I love Skips. All the episodes revolving Skips. Skip Strikes, Skips' story. Just great episodes. Some of the best episodes in the series. I love getting to know more about Skips' backstory. Of course, you find out his name was Walks and changed it to Skips, and you find out why he skips in Skips' story. So, I just think he's so great. He's probably the most fleshed out character background-wise that we know, either him or Pops. So, yeah, S tier. Next year we have the babies. I know that they are called the Guardians. Of course, they're always helping Skips out. I think B tier for them. Of course, they are the ones who help Skips in his battles. Giving him the Fist of Justice. So, yeah. B tier. Spacey McSpacetree. Again, someone from Season 8. I don't really remember much about Season 8. Because it's not one that I really go back on a lot and see. So, C tier for me, for him. Not much to say. Starla here. I'm going to put her in the C tier. She's very, gross, but kind of matches well with Muscle Man, and I like their dynamics, of course, but, of course, she just can be really annoying. Of course, when she, kind of goes on that date with Mordecai, just really weird. Next, we have Tecmo, and I like him. I think he's a solid B-tier character, another character who Skips is friends with, and of course you find their backstory very interesting as well. Another character who you find in Skips' backstory. Skips is probably the most fleshed out character on the show. And finally here we have Thomas / Nikolai. Of course, I'm just going to put him in the B tier. I always thought he was just kind of in the middle for me. I wasn't a big fan of Thomas, and I also wasn't a big hater on Thomas. I always thought he was just kind of there. In the show, he never really brought much. So, yeah, let's do a recap here. So, in S tier, we have Benson, Muscle Man, Pops, and Skips. A tier, the Baby Ducks, the Capicola Gang. Anti-Pops, Garrett Bobby Ferguson, Gary Bobby Ferguson Jr., the God of Basketball, and Margaret. B tier, we have CJ, the Death Kwon Do, Sensei, Death, Don, Earl, Gary, Party P, RGB2, High Five Ghost, Mordecai, Low Five Ghost, Rigby, the Babies, Tecmo, and Thomas. In C tier, we have Thomas the Baby, Eileen, Clarkbane, Starla, Margaret's dad, the Geese, Gene, Mr. Maylord, the Party Horse, and Spacey McSpacetree. And in F tier, we have Quips. So, first tier list, I believe, that I did not have anyone in D tier. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know of any other tier lists to do. I'm trying to think of some shows that I would like to do for you guys. But yeah, I also have some video ideas where I'm in front of the camera. Of course, like I mentioned at the start, I do have school, so it will definitely be harder for me to upload like 3 or 4 times a week. But I'm going to try and get at least 1 to 2 videos out a week. And maybe sometimes when I have some free time, maybe put out even 3 a week. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know of any suggestions down in the comments below. And peace out.